TV program. Views expressed on this program are not necessarily those of CBS Radio, its sponsors, or affiliates.
Good morning. Welcome to the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. I'm your host, Harvey Freed. Alongside me, the co-host, Harry Glanz.
What's happening, Harv?
Good morning to you, Harry. September 27, 2014. We brought in our favorite real estate agent, or one of our favorites, Dan Dubinsky with Skyward Realty in downtown Royal Oak. Good morning, Dan. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Hey,
right.
Dubinsky fits so well in with his show because it is the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show. And when he comes in, he's always prepared. Look, he's got his stats out. He is pretty hardcore. We like that.
He shows up for the game, and it's a gorgeous day out there. Of course, if you haven't bought a house yet, what a great day to go out there and view some properties. Going up to 77 degrees. Definitely an Indian summer, what they call it here in southeast Michigan.
We've had better weather in the last week to 10 days than we had all summer long.
We've had better interest rates all summer long than we had, 40, 50 years ago, because they're still at 40-year lows. We'll talk about that. Mortgages, real estate, everything you want to show. Give us here on the show, 248-539-9797. Mortgage rates really just a little bit barely higher yesterday, lower overall. The rates continue to give us many opportunities to consolidate debt. A lot of families still out there purchasing home, borrowing money at 40-year lows. Yesterday, the GDP came in at 4.6% higher, which is really good. And again, nothing's really affecting the mortgage world. Everyone is out there trying to take advantage of it. Again, we have a lot going on in southeast Michigan, sort of regional with what's going on right now.
Yeah, things are pretty stable here in the market. You might get a fluctuation in eighth here. It goes up, it goes down. But right now, you're talking about interest rates 4.25%, 4.3% on a 30-year fixed. 3.25%, 3.5% on a 15. But when you want to really talk about Harvey, we don't have to go back. And you know what I always say: they're not going down to zero. January 2011, a 30-year fixed rate was at 5%. We're at roughly 5/8, 3/4. What's the difference? Lower. All right. These are the same rates that were in 1965, 1966. All right. The millennials right now have an opportunity to buy houses, okay, at the same rates that our parents, okay, we're baby boomers, but our parents bought back in the 60s at the same rate. It doesn't happen that often. People need to take advantage of what we're seeing in the market around Dan Dubinsky. We had an excellent summer.
Great
Things
summer.
started, kids are back in school now.
Mm-hmm.
We're having the best month of the year right now in September. We're going to close out September. It's going to end up being the best month of the calendar year 2014. There's still a lot of activity. But as we talked about off the air, what happens? Okay, we're seeing it slow down a little bit. More houses are coming on the market.
Yeah, you had those September sales are from August. The September closings are from the August sales, right?
Right.
And we see anytime the school gets back, there's a little bit of a lull. But what's nice about that is there's now an opportunity to get in there, not have a lot of competition with the offers. We saw this summer that people were 3-4 offers. You had to figure out a way to outshine and even pay a little bit extra than you'd rather would do in a normal market because you had competition.
And that's one of our favorite subjects. Our co-host who is on vacation this week, Alex Nafusi, always says, this will, the pretenders from the contenders, okay? The pretenders that want to list their house and think that they're going to get, an outrageous sale price. If it happens, great. But now the people that are buying houses and selling houses, they're the real people that have the house on the market, right?
Yeah, we tell our agents, if someone's calling right now or, they are putting their home on the market right now, it's not because they want to test the market. It's because they need to move for some reason.
They want to sell a house.
Yeah, exactly. And we talked about, we have people coming in the office and saying, what is the market going to do? And I actually referred to that speech you gave in Birmingham I went and saw.
Thank you.
Look at overall from what I think you went back to 1940 or 1950 to now. And if you look at that line, it continues to go up, the values. It has a market adjustment here and there, but it gradually goes up. And people say, when's the time to get in? Time to get in is now.
Yeah, a lot of supply out there. It has picked up, of course. A lot of the homes that were left on the marketplace throughout the summer, you have to have a different mindset if you're a seller. Again, you're not going to get the same type of traffic you did earlier in the year, so you got to change things up a little bit. Be a little bit more flexible. Again, if you weren't offering all the terms available, conventional, FHA, VA, all those type of terms, and of course, always cash offers, you got to change your mindset. There's just fewer buyers out there this time of year. However, if you do get a serious offer, make sure you're all prepared. And, of course, there's so many families out there that are putting their ducks in a row. They're going to be selling their house, and they're trying to time it perfectly with them finding a new house, Dan. And that's one of the obstacles that a lot of sellers find themselves in.
Yeah, the selling market right now, you do have homes that are out there that are very marketable. You have other homes out there that are, they just don't put the effort into selling the home. They don't do the things they should do. You know, to make a home shine, you can do things to make your home look better than others, and on paper, meaning do an inspection prior to, and having that ready for your potential buyer.
Well, Dan, most people are visual people. They walk into a house, they want to see a nice house, and they can't vision past that nasty green carpeting or the orange wall. So they want to see everything in perfect shape. So when they walk in, they say, okay, beautiful, I want to move in right away. It takes real talent to go ahead and kind of blow up a house and look past all that.
Without a doubt. It surprises me because I can do that, but you see people come in, and if they look at something, they focus on that. You know, those shows they have on these home shows, they always say, put your personal pictures away, do this thing,
right,
do that. And I never realized, you know, because I can go in and look at a house, but I notice my clients will go in, they'll start looking at the pictures. When they leave, you know what they remember? The photos of the family, not the house.
Right. That's
so
interesting.
Those little points, making it neutral and doing those little things really do help.
Keep less distractions out there. 248-539-9797. We always take your calls here in the office. And, of course, we're brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding at 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. And we always take your emails at mortgage.show@lowrateonline.com. We're going to start things off. This morning we've got a call to start things off out in Royal Oak. We got Chris on the line. Chris, welcome to the show.
Hey, good. How are you?
Real good.
What's up, Chris?
Good. Hey, I was 24. I bought my first condo. You know, the interest only, and the arms, everything was out in 2004. I bought it, you know, right at the peak, May 2004. But I did an arm first on a 30, and then I have a second that was on like an interest only, 15 years. You know, so what I want to do, and what I'm having trouble doing, was I really want to just turn the first into like a 10-year mortgage. Like, I'm, you know, well off now. I can afford it. I want to do like a 10-year term. The only problem was trying to refinance it. You have to subordinate the second, and then it's not owned by Fannie or Freddie. It was owned by another private, you know, whoever the investor was.
Well, what's the value of the condo? What's the value of the property?
Right,
what's the value currently?
You know, it's my rental now. That's the other thing. It's my rental property.
Yeah.
So my primary is in Royal Oak. My rental is Sterling Heights, and you know they can only go like certain LTV on my first mortgage, you know, on the rental property.
Well, what complex are you in? What complex?
Probably $1.05, $1.10. I owe probably 85 on it right now on the first.
Okay, and what do you owe on the second?
It was an interest only, so probably 18,000.
Okay, so you're at 104 on a 110 property, basically, is what you're telling me.
What's that?
You're at 104 with the mortgage balances on the first and second with about a 110, 115 value.
Yeah.
You might have to go the subordinating of the second. We'll have to take a look at it. It's not a Fannie or Freddie loan. So,
I know that's the tricky part.
But there are certain things that we can do. There are more programs now than ever before to try to help people out. I'm not, you don't qualify for a HARP program, you know that, but there might be something we can do, and we might have to take a look at the value. That's going to be the key driver in this at the property value.
You're not too far away from
the lender on it now. With them, because they call me, and a lot of times you'll just have a loan officer just call, and they're not looking at the big picture,
right,
and knowing everything you're looking at. But that's the problem. It's not owned by Fannie or Freddie, so I would have did this like a long time ago, but it seems like I can't touch it.
Chris, we'll follow up after the show and definitely get your address and see what the comparable sales look like. That's a great area. Of course, Dan Dubinsky works that area every day, so we're able to pull up a list and see really what the values are going on, especially if you're in a condominium complex. Dan, there's not many variables on those. Generally speaking, the 2 bedrooms and 3 bedrooms, they're all going to comp out pretty similar.
Yeah, they're pretty easy to comp out in Royal Oak, and they're consistent sales all the time. So. All
right, 248-539-9797. We have open lines all morning long. It's a gorgeous morning out there. It's 9:09 if you're just getting started. Buying a home definitely is exhilarating. It could also be very exhausting, Dan. After months of searching, miles on you're putting on your car, putting your best offer together is key. When you finally find something you like, you got to have your ducks in a row. We always stress, of course, on the show to have your approval letter in hand and get it all together. That way you understand the comparables. If they counter your offer, you're ready to make moves because you have the knowledge behind you.
Hey, Harvey, I promise you, Dan Dubinsky, you're not putting people in your car until you know that they're approved.
No. No, that's the
There's no way.
A rookie mistake. A new realtor gets excited to have a buyer. hey, until you know they're qualified, you're really wasting your time unless you're practicing. And we don't like to put miles on our car. We like to spend a good hour and a half with them, listening to what they want and giving them the proper properties. Why you get so many people that we hear that say, I told them I want a 2-car garage. That's all I really want. And they show them houses without garages. It's simple stuff. What we do isn't rocket science. It's actually just communicating with your client and listening to what they need and then learning from the mortgage company how to structure the deal.
Well, the advantage of being in the business in this area for a very long time is that, I happen to get great calls every week. So last week, you get calls from realtors all the time. And it's as simple as this. If you have an experienced realtor, they'll call you up. Hey, Harry, I'm working with your buyer. Tell me a little bit about your buyer. Listen, buyer's approved. We already ran everything. You've already run the financials. You already run the credit. Absolutely, they're good. Offer gets accepted right away.
Yeah.
It's just, it can be that easy.
All righty, we're up against our first break this morning. Keep it here on 97.1 The Ticket. We'll be back with all your calls.
97.1 The Ticket.
Looking for new carpet, hardwood, or tile? Let Motor City Carpet and Flooring bring their showroom on wheels to your home or business for a free on-site consultation. To schedule your risk-free appointment, call 844-MCC-FLOOR today. That's 844-MCC-FLOOR. Motor City Carpet. Let us floor you. Unlike some other banks, TCF offers free checking, no monthly fee, no minimum balance. Plus, you get the free TCF mobile app, free online banking, and free bill pay. The key word here is free. TCF believes that your money shouldn't cost you money. Switch to TCF Bank. Get free checking and service you can count on. TCF Bank, the home of free checking. Stop by or visit tcfbank.com. Other fees, including dormancy fees, may apply. Member FDIC.
Everyone all over the world needs Faygo more than ever, wants flavor more than ever, wants Faygo more than ever. What is life without rock and ride? That just makes me want to cry. What is life without Red Pop? Stop. Don't even want to think about it. Everyone all over the world needs Faygo more than ever, wants flavor.
Next Modern Family, Phil teaches his girls home maintenance.
It's up to me to show them what a modern, self-sufficient woman looks like.
But talks break down at appliances.
This water heater converts cold water into hot.
What converts this conversation into over?
So in the future, they'll just call Phil.
They'll call me on their hologram phones and say, "Help me, Dad, you're my only hope." And I'll be the happiest father in Sector 7. Or Sector 12 if we're doing really well.
Modern Family. Watch Modern Family Monday at 7:30 on CW50.
Here's your chance to watch football on a Monday night with Riley Reef. It's happening October 6th at a great local bar where you can hang out and enjoy free food and a fun atmosphere. All you have to do is test drive the Chrysler 200 at one of our dealer events. Come to Dick Scott Chrysler on Ann Arbor Road in Plymouth today from noon to 2. Plus, the first 40 people there will get a $10 Buffalo Wild Wings gift card. Go to cbsdetroit.com/blind date to find all the Chrysler 200 blind date test drive experiences. Experience the 2015 Chrysler 200, redesigned from the factory floor up with best-in-class available 295 horsepower, standard 9-speed transmission, available 8.4-inch touchscreen and up to 32 miles per gallon highway. It's the American sedan people didn't think was possible. The 2015 Chrysler 200 is America's import. Now, during the Chrysler Great American Drive event, employees can lease the 2015 Chrysler 200 Limited Sedan for only $237 a month for 39 months with $237 due at signing. Blind date test drive program runs through September 30th, 2014 or while supplies last. For terms and eligibility, visit cbsdetroit.com/blind date.
Hey, fantasy football fans, football season is heating up. And who doesn't love the excitement of picking your team? It's probably the best part of the season. Well, get this. You can do that any week when you play in one-week fantasy football leagues at FanDuel.com. This is next-level fantasy football. Every week is a whole season at FanDuel. You play for real money, and winners get immediate cash payouts. There's no season-long commitment, so you only play when you want. Plus, you can play in fantasy football leagues for as little as $1. Nothing beats the excitement of living out a whole season of fantasy football in just 1 week. Every week is a chance to win big at FanDuel. And right now, FanDuel is giving you up to $200 free. For every dollar you deposit, FanDuel will match it up to $200. But hurry, offer ends this Friday. The only way to get up to $200 free is to go to FanDuel.com, click the microphone in the upper right corner, and enter the promo code 6161. That's FanDuel.com, promo code 6161.
University of Phoenix versus Imagining. Excuse me? Can I try this before I buy it?
Oh, we'd prefer you look at it from afar and just imagine what it will be like. At University of Phoenix, we know you want to try before you buy. That's why we offer many first-year students with limited to no college experience a risk-free period. Visit phoenix.edu to learn more. University of Phoenix. Let's get to work.
There's beauty in the sunrise of a brand new friend.
Where will you say hi on your Ohio getaway?
Hi from Rocky Hills. Hi from the Rock Hall. Hi
From Marblehead. This fall, say hi to the Circleville Pumpkin Show. Explore haunted Ohio and catch all the fall colors in our 74 state parks. Ohio's too much fun for just one day. Go to discoverohio.com and click on Autumn Adventures.
During Hallow weekends at Cedar Point, hiding around every corner is one of many thrilling kids' rides. And at any time, anything can jump out at you like Snoopy and the Peanuts Gang, ready to entertain. During the day on weekends, Cedar Point has kids' rides, a parade, and all new kids' activities. It's all fun. No fear. Through November 1st.
Hallow Weekends fun has begun at Cedar Point. Save big on tickets at HallowWeekends.com.
Quality, knowledge, skill, value. That's Napa know-how. With more than 400,000 quality parts and 85 years of experience, they've got the know-how to find the right part you need. Stop into Napa Auto Parts Store or Napa Auto Care Center today to experience the Napa difference.
Looking to sell your home? Search Realtor Jeff Glover. A house sold name.
CBS Sunday. It's the explosive season premiere of CSI on its new night.
Do something, she's gonna die.
Sunday, only CBS.
Saints, Cowboys. Sunday night football coverage begins at 7:30 on your home for the NFL on Westwood One. 97.1, The Ticket.
Well, welcome back to the show. We broadcast till 10 o'clock. It's the Hardcore Mortgage Show brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. Give us a call, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. Also, you can always send us the emails to mortgage.show@lowrateonline.com. Always live in the studio, 248-539-9797. And we've got Chris calling in from Wixom. Good morning, Chris. Welcome to the show.
I got a question for you. I have about a 575 credit score. Just recently, within the last 2.5 years, I went through a, what do you call it, a bankruptcy.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a huge cash deposit or down payment on a house, but I don't have the credit. Is that something that the banks work with? Let's say, for instance, I'm looking at a house for $180, and let's say I have 100 of it down to put down. Would the banks bypass or overlook the 575 credit score in order to...
Well, Chris, you say you have a 575 credit score. How do you know? Did somebody just run a consumer credit report for you? Did you run a mortgage banker's credit report?
A mortgage banker's.
Okay, so you know you have a 575 middle score, and you say you filed bankruptcy. Has it been discharged for 2.5 years, or was it just filed, or what are the dates on that?
Well, it was finalized 2.5 years ago. So
okay.
I'm assuming that it's discharged.
Mm-hmm. And we can take a look at that. And you want to put $100,000 down on 175, 180 house. Take a mortgage for 75 or 80.
Yeah.
I think actually a better plan of attack might be to use the money to start establishing lines of credit. After your bankruptcy, did you hold on to any credit cards? Did you obtain a new credit car payment since? Where are you at since the discharge of the bankruptcy?
Well, I have a car payment that I've never been late on. But the problem with it is that I didn't file that under the bankruptcy, so therefore they haven't been reporting it. So I'm not getting any good credit or bad credit from it.
I'd like to take a look at your credit report because you have to establish a credit history after the bankruptcy. Okay, it's called the ability and willingness to pay back the loan. We have to establish that you have the willingness and the ability to pay back that loan. And then there are other things called compensating factors. We have to take a look at the whole picture. You've got a lot of moving parts in your transaction. So, I'd like to take a look at the credit report. I'd like to take a look at everything. How about your job? How long have you been on your job?
I've been here for 8 years.
That's good. Good stability of employment.
You're not too far away. If we can't get you a mortgage right now, we'll definitely have a game plan in the next 12 to 24 months. And we see a lot of families like you who have entered into land contracts. If they do it the right way, you may be able to get a land contract under your legs. More importantly, the amount of time elapsing after that foreclosure, after the bankruptcy. And that's the other question we have. By any chance, did you include a house in that?
No.
Okay, so it's just great, just renter and straight bankruptcy. We could probably put something together for you. Again, it's 2 years after that discharge, so very good possibility that over the next 6 to 12 months we can get your credit moving in the right direction. Or we'll use the land, definitely use the land contract as an alternative, and maybe get the mortgage a year or so from now.
Okay, now do they also look at past? Because I used to own a house, back in '99. And never was late on a payment for probably 2.5 years straight.
Well, if it's reporting on the credit report, it shows a good track record. But again, that's 14, 15 years ago. But we'll have to take a look at it. Again, there's are all compensating factors that are going to help your case. But we just have to roll it all into one and take a look at it.
Thanks for the call, Chris. Definitely good stuff. We'll follow up with you right after the show. It's 248-539-9797.
Chris calls up. He brings up a good point. The question is, can I get a mortgage? The answer is not tomorrow. All right, he's not going to be able to do it today, tomorrow, or the next day. There's going to be a lot of things that we have to repair, and it's going to take time. But we have to take a look at, for example, when was the discharge of the bankruptcy? Is it really 575 credit? What does his credit report currently, what's it made up of? Has he reestablished any? Has he made on-time payments? Those are all big compensating factors on it. So, I'd really like to take a look at that credit report. That's going to give me the first start.
You know what? Alex and I worked with numerous people over the years that have called, and we're in this exact position. And a year down the line, they're able to get a mortgage based on your advice. And, just doing the right things is what it comes down to.
You can rent. You can do a land contract. You can rent with an option to buy. You can get yourself set up over the next 6 to 12 months. Find a property that might work for you. There's a lot of sellers out there that are willing to work with you also. So we do see a lot of that.
You said the key phrase, Harvey. It's called set up. We have to set up our borrowers for success. So if you have a team behind you and we're setting up everybody for success, there's a system. There's it takes time to do these kind of things. It just doesn't happen overnight, especially if you file a bankruptcy.
248-539-9797. We always talk about get a real approval letter. Gather your documents and give us a call. It's that easy. So often we receive calls from families out there trying to make purchases, and they find out after the fact, a couple of weeks into the transaction, they're calling us and saying, hey, I'm not approved over there. And we really don't understand that. If you have anything borderline going on in your transaction, if you're not even sure if you're working out of state, if you're purchasing for the first time, if you have lower credit scores, if you don't have your funds together, there's so many, as we say, moving parts in a transaction. You've got to get it all together. Again, this is giving you a better opportunity to obtain the lowest possible interest rates and to go ahead and get approved and close on a transaction.
Well, I want to bring this up to Dan right now. One of my favorite subjects, Harvey, as you know, are property values. Every day I spend the majority of my mornings, from 7 o'clock in the morning to noon, working on property values and with appraisers and appraised values, okay? Mm-hmm. So it goes something like this for me. We've got a borrower, enters into a purchase agreement. They agree on your favorite topic, the sales price.
Correct.
And everybody says, what's the house worth? What's the value of the property? Well, the standard line is whatever a buyer and seller agree upon, that's what the house value is. No, that's not. That's called the sales price. The house value is when we go ahead and hire an appraiser and they come back with the number, what the value is based on comparable sales in the same area, right? So then what happens is the properties come in low. And yes, they're still coming in low. I invite all calls on this subject because it is the one that sticks in my craw every morning. Okay, it comes in low, right? So then what happens is we notify the borrower, everybody's involved, and the borrower, who, by the way, they're the only people that we work with, they're calling up and yelling at us, right, that it came in low. So we work for the borrower. Time out, Mr. Borrower. We're protecting you, but you're calling us up and saying that, wait, you don't agree?
As a realtor, the worst thing you can have is a third party come in and say, you overpaid for this house. It makes us look bad. So now we know, all of my agents, we tell them, listen, when you put an offer in, explain to them that this is based on the comps that we're preparing and we're looking at, but we're going to have a third party that come in and says that it may be worth less. And does that mean it's worth less? In their eyes.
How about Mr. Dubinsky, Mr. Realtor, when the appraiser's going to be scheduled, you go out there and hand them the comps.
Every time. You know what I do? Take the key and the lock. I take the whole lockbox off, and I say, call me, have my secretary say, tell me when I'm going to meet them out there. And listen, you got to be, sometimes you have to be sweet to these people. Sometimes they don't want to see you. So you have to read them right away. Hey,
see, you can talk to those appraisers, okay?
Right. Yeah.
We can't talk to them.
Well, I know. And here's the thing. Sometimes they get put off saying, well, I know how to do my job. And,
course
you know,
they do.
but you get a guy from the east side doing downtown Royal Oak, and does he know the difference between east side of Campbell and west side of Campbell?
Let's say this about it. Generally speaking, appraisals in this area have been pretty close to listing price, and it's been a great summer for us. We definitely are seeing more and more of the subdivisions catch up. It's the onesies and twosies, Harry's. It's that special house on the lake.
Says the guy who comes in my office every day asking me about property values. Okay. Right?
The problem.
Go ahead and admit it.
Oh,
on the air.
absolutely.
There
Absolutely.
you go. Okay, there you go.
The problem I have with appraisers is that I truly believe you could send 2 appraisers out and they would give you a 20% difference in what the value is. That's my problem with them. You give 2 good realtors in there, they'll be within 2%.
So now that's your problem. What do you think my problem is?
Your
When I'm
problem-
looking at houses, when I'm driving neighborhoods, when I know areas, and they're telling me that it's coming in 20,000 lower.
I mean, how do you get them to agree to it because they don't seem to agree?
Hey,
Common sense stuff.
that's the magical question, right?
Right.
All righty, we got open lines, 248-539-9797. There's so much to know about a purchase, funds to close, understanding how the PMI works. Do you have to put down 20%? Not at all. We'll talk about all the different options out there. FHA loans, the flexibility, low restrictions, right when we come back.
There are so many phone apps these days, but here to tell us about one that can save us money on our energy bill is Knox from DTE Energy. Hey there, Knox.
Hey, how are you doing today?
Great. I can't wait to hear about this app.
Well, DTE Insight is a free app. It has a lot of great features. It links with your advanced meter and shows you your daily, weekly, and monthly usage.
You had me at free app. So what kind of features are in the app?
Well, there's a great little tool called Power Scan. You hold your iPhone over the power cord of an appliance, and the app will tell you how much power it takes to run that device. And it'll give you an estimate of how it impacts your energy bill.
Oh, that is cool. I can barely figure out how to take a picture on my phone. So is there anything else?
Also, we offer tips and projects to help customers save energy.
Oh, this seems a lot more useful than that crushing candy game I've been obsessed with.
I would agree.
Okay, I need to get this app right away. How do I get it?
Well, for all of our customers with an advanced meter, you can go to the App Store or Google Play.
So if you need more information, go to dteenergy.com/DTE Insight. DTE Energy. Know your own power.
Judges can't stop sexual predators before they strike.
But they can make sure those that get caught pay a heavy price.
That's why Supreme Court Justices Brian Zara and David Viviano have upheld convictions for sexually abusive criminals.
And Viviano and Zara have made it illegal for sexual predators to use computers to help them commit sexual abuse.
Justices Brian Zara and David Viviano have consistently prioritized the rights of crime victims.
By upholding tough sentences for violent offenders and sexual abusers.
Viviano and Zara use common sense on Michigan Supreme Court.
They're rule of law judges that apply the law to the facts. They're not influenced by special interests.
Supreme Court Justices Brian Zara and David Viviano use common sense
and protect our children and families.
Call Justices Viviano and Zara at 517-373-0120 and thank them for standing up to sexual predators.
Paid for by the Michigan Chamber of Commerce.
Oh, man, it's the shop. Hey, it's Joe. What's up? The air compressor down again? I gotta go, Mike.
Didn't I tell you to call Air Center about a Kaiser air compressor?
Air Center sells and services industrial air compressors and systems for all types of businesses. Air Center sells Kaiser, the most reliable air compressors in the world. If you need a new air compressor or are in need of service, call Air Center at 800-AIR-2959 or visit teamaircenter.com. Air Center and Kaiser for air that's always there.
Feeling like you've missed out on all the home selling and buying action that took place this summer? Well, it's not too late. In fact, it's actually one of the best times to get started. Hi, I'm Realtor Jeff Glover. Right now, we have 22% more homes for sale than we had at this same time last year. So take advantage of the fall real estate market before inventory levels rise even further.
Hi, this is Larry Dragan. I'm a retired custom builder and developer. When it came time to sell my own home, I called Jeff Glover. Working with Jeff was an awesome experience. He pays attention to details, very professional, and got the job done and sold my home within 30 days.
Homeowners who sell their homes with Jeff get an average of 98% of their asking price and sell their homes in an average of 23 days. Call Jeff Glover today at 855-JEFF-SELLS. Whether your home is in Novi, Shelby Township, Brighton, Birmingham, Clarkston, or Ann Arbor, Jeff Glover will get it sold. Call Jeff at 855-JEFF-SELLS or online at 855-JEFFSELLS.com. Realtor Jeff Glover. A household name. Jeff Glover is affiliated with Keller Williams Realty.
It keeps your workers warm. It keeps your heavy equipment running. Propane. We'll make sure your tanks are full so you don't have to.
For almost 50 years, Propane Services has been satisfying customers. They specialize in forklift fuel, industrial refill stations, resale locations, welding gases, temporary and emergency heat. To learn more, visit propaneservices.com. That's propaneservices.com.
Call Propane Services at 313-292-9100.
Bill Bellamy hosts Let's Ask America.
If you're ready to have some fun, say yeah!
The outrageous game show with outrageous contestants.
I do speak a little chickenese.
With moments that keep you laughing.
The answers are wieners or nuts. Get your mind out the gutter.
And make you think.
The question is, what do sports fans say they're most likely to eat at a baseball game?
Let's Ask America.
Weeknights at 7:30 on TV 20.
It's the choices we make that make us who we are. But there's little choice when there's only one option. I'm Glenda Lewis. Now you actually have a real choice for local news at 10, 7 days a week.
This is Malcolm Maddox from 7 Action News. Now we are on at 10 on TV 20 Detroit with all the breaking news, the latest updates, and a detailed forecast from Detroit's news leaders.
7 Action News at 10 p.m. on TV 20 Detroit. Final, a clear choice at 10, 7 days a week. 7 Action News on TV 20 Detroit.
The Demmer family's been serving Ford customers in Southeast Michigan since 1957. If you haven't discovered the Demmer difference, now's the time. Tune in this week as Detroit hits the gridiron right here. Brought to you by Jack Demmer Ford.
Sports news all day, every day. This is 97.1 The Ticket.
Brought to you by 24 Seconds Bar and Grill. Tigers lead over Kansas City shrinks to 1 in the Central. Tigers get beat by Minnesota 11-4. Rick Porcello did not have it, allowing 4 runs over 3 2/3. He falls to 15-13. His ERA in the month of September, an untidy 6.20. Kyle Lobstein tonight from Comerica Park, 6:40 right here on The Ticket. Michigan State taking on Wyoming today. That's a 12 noon kick at Spartan Stadium. Michigan at home at 3:30 against Minnesota. Little Brown Jug game. No question. Well, there is some question who'll play quarterback, Devin Gardner or Shane Morris. Shane Morris is expected to play. No announcement, though, until kickoff from Brady Hoke. Lying tight end Joseph Foyer ruled out of tomorrow's game against the Jets right here at 97.1 The Ticket at 1 p.m. Calvin Johnson is questionable. From the 1-800 Call Sam Studios, I'm Jeff Lesson. For more, 97.1theticket.com.
Your homes for the NFL on Westwood One, CBS Sports Radio 1270 and 97.1 The Ticket.
All righty, welcome back to the show. We broadcast till 10 o'clock. It's the Hardcore Mortgage Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. Give us a call all day long, all weekend long. 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. You can also send us an email to mortgage.show@lowrateonline.com. We take all your calls here, obviously. Unbelievable weather outside. I mean, I think anyone here in Southeast Michigan will trade 1 week of this beautiful weather for 2 weeks of bad weather in the winter. I don't know if we want to make that trade, but absolutely simply perfect fall, warm days, great for sports. You got the high school football going on, soccer, field hockey, tennis. We salute all those high school athletes and want to save lives also. So as obviously a proud sponsor of the Student Heart Check program, we save hearts, we save you money. Give us a call, Capital Mortgage, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker.
Well, from our last segment, we were talking about, saving money. We were talking about property values and what can you do if appraisal comes in low. And I like to stir that pot a lot because, again, we're there to protect our client, Dan.
Yeah.
That's who we work for. That's who pays our bills. We're responsible to the client. We want happy clients. But it just kind of, it mystifies me when we're working for a client, the appraisal comes in low, and then our client is yelling and screaming at us.
Yeah. But, the thing is, like I said, we use that to our advantage. If I'm a buyer's agent and the value comes in low, first thing I think of is go to the seller or seller's agent and say, listen, we were willing to pay the number we agreed to, but now we're telling it's worth less, so that's the number we want. And sometimes they'll agree to it. Sometimes I'm surprised when they do, but other times they'll want to negotiate. And then you have to figure out, okay, were they putting more? If you're putting 20% down, you get those advantages of doing that. If you put more down than that, then they say, hey, listen, you have the ability to do that as a buyer. And it should be no problem for you to do it. But again, no one likes to be told they're buying something that is not worth
overpaying. Sure.
Right. Well, and I understand that the seller never wants to hear that because the seller is selling a house they think it's the greatest house in the world.
Yeah.
But there are factors involved. There are, comparables in your neighborhood, like sales, like elevations. You don't comp out. You don't compare ranches to colonials, tri-levels to ranches. I mean, there are certain things, there are certain rules in appraising that you have to use to determine what the true market value is.
There are, but there's things that me and you may think would add value where the appraisers don't take into account. I mean, it's simple common sense where I truly get very, very frustrated with these appraisers where you can't reason with them.
Well, listen, I think it's cool to have, 15 TV screens, a big man's room, and all that kind of stuff. But I know truly that does not add value to a house.
I'm talking about real value stuff.
Yeah, well, kitchens and bathrooms are number one, number two.
Exactly.
That's how it works.
And, of course, the square footage. Again, location always falls into play. Is this a premium lot? Is it in a premium city?
But because there is no other comps in the immediate area, then they go back a year and a half or a year, right? That's
bothersome. That's troublesome to me.
Right. I mean, so then you say, okay, the value a year ago was this. Then you look at the numbers and say everything's increased by this number, which makes common sense, but they don't take that into account.
Dan, I don't want to coin the phrase lockbox real estate agent, but some folks out there with real estate licenses, maybe just lockbox real estate agents. The key is having and hiring a professional real estate agent to provide you all the knowledge. More importantly, how about these negotiating skills? Is the person you're working with right now the person you want to negotiate the house? I've met some people that are just unbelievable at it. Again, the dollars they make don't necessarily always add up to the knowledge they have. Find someone who works with you, understands negotiating, and all the variables that are involved as a real estate agent should be.
When the internet became big and people were able to find their homes on their own, and everyone was thinking, wow, realtors will be obsolete, you won't need them. You still need realtors. You need a buffer in between a buyer and a seller. If we were to put most of my buyers and sellers together without that realtor, those deals won't get done because a lot of times we keep that information away from them. And here's what happens. If you beat someone up too much on the inspection, then the appraisal comes back bad, and then you have to go back to them. They're just going to shut down. They're going to get this bad taste in their mouth, and we always try to keep people's eye on the ball. Listen, when you're buying a house and it was a bad negotiations, you're not going to deal with this person in 2 months. You're going to be in your home. You're going to be enjoying it. You're going to forget about all that stuff. So right now, let's get back to the even though they're not being willing to come down or anything, let's think about it. Are you going to pay an extra $5,000 to be in the home that you want for the next 10 years?
Forever. That's a lifestyle move, and I believe in that. And you've got to go to the expert. You talk about that. I believe in going to the expert, whatever profession you're in. You need a lawyer. Don't play your own lawyer. You need a doctor. Even though I went on the internet and I can diagnose my own illness, I'm still going to a doctor. If you want to buy a house, you got to go to a realtor. That's just the way it works.
That's I always say as well. When I opened Skyward, people ask, well, why aren't you opening a mortgage company as well? You know why? Because I can't do two things. I wanted to focus on one thing and find a good company that we refer people back and forth to. Same reason we didn't open a title company, just probably like you. You're focusing on one thing like we are.
I just want to be really good at the one thing that I do.
Exactly. And then find someone else that does those other one things very good, and you work with each other. And that's why we've been pretty successful with each other.
All right, we've got some open lines here. 248-539-9797. 1 million homeowners gained equity. You're probably one of them here. Definitely Southeast Michigan, and our region has definitely seen appreciation over the last several years. Let's go with it. The year ended June 30th, 2014. 44 million homes in the country now have positive equity. So that's a really good sign. Obviously, having positive equity, your house is valued at a lot more than what you owe is the key. A little bit more. If you went to sell it, of course, with commissions and transaction costs, you're not quite ready to go ahead and make that move. But positive equity, you look where we were in 2006 through 2008 and 2009, some really tough times. The economy has turned around. It is based on regional events. Things are going very well here. 248-539-9797. If you want to get in and tell us a little bit about your positive story. Again, we saw home values go 30-40% down. We've almost made it all the way back. In some areas, we definitely have.
Our studies show we're about 85% where we were.
That is the number. It is 85%. Harvey, we had that caller call in before, and he couldn't get a HARP loan. He's not a Fannie or Freddie loan. And right now the number is about 14.5% right now in the state of Michigan are still have negative equity. So we're almost back. The number is 85%, and you're right on the money, Dan. And but Michigan there are a lot of pockets right now, especially our trade area. Southeastern Michigan is extremely hot. Macomb County really leading the way. Macomb County, if you go out there, you see all the building that's done in Macomb County. Macomb County, the home appreciation has been tremendous. There are pockets of Oakland County, South Lyon area, the building that's going on in South Lyon. We had Jeff Sacco on last week. He's a builder, and he told us that they're putting, shovels in the ground. They're digging all the time, and they're selling a lot of houses.
The new building is amazing that's going on out there. And I don't know if you saw the Time article. I just read, I think saw somewhere that Rochester Hills is number 9 in the country in Time.
Yeah.
A nice place to raise a family.
Their quality of life.
Yeah, exactly. And, people, we get thrown in this Detroit thing, but people don't realize, we have athletes we deal with all the time, and they're all thinking, okay, where are we going to live? And didn't realize we have beautiful areas in Oakland County, Wayne County, and Macomb County.
Well, the quality of life around here, there's no question, is, we're a major league city, 4 major sports teams. We got a lot of stuff going on. We have beautiful lakes. The summers are generally great. The winters are, if you're an outdoors person here, the hunting, the fishing, the skiing, all those things. And hunting season's coming up. My favorite time of year.
Yeah, right.
Hunting season's coming up. And we just have a lot of activity going on here. It's a great place to live. It's a great place to raise a family. Cost of living is relatively inexpensive compared to other major metropolitan areas. And the school systems are really good. The public school system in and around metropolitan Detroit are some of the finest in the country.
Harry, definitely an easy sail today. 77 and sunny out there, and one of these gorgeous fall days. If you're around the phone, you want to talk about your mortgage, real estate, getting an approval, give us a call, 248-539-9797. So much to share with you. Again, U.S. new home sales back to a 6-year high. The supply has increased in the single family, especially since August. They hit the highest levels in 6 years. So, again, lots of homes back on the marketplace. As we talked about earlier in the show, a little bit less competition out there. So you got to sort of change your strategy up and get that knowledge behind you. We're up against a break, but when we come back, all your calls, 248-539-9797.
It's a brand new day for data. Get the new Sprint Family Share Pack. It's the hottest deal in wireless, only from Sprint, America's newest network.
Just when you think you have all the answers. A booger.
Sexy banana. Mrs. Claus?
Cow face. You meet someone with a new twist on things. What's the first thing you do when you realize your wife is mad at you?
Lie.
Lie. He 19. He ain't got no wife. No, you're an Eagle Scout.
Yes.
You don't know how real that answer is. It's time to mix it up here on Family Feud.
Catch an all-new Family Feud Monday starting at 7 on CBS 62.
What makes a good thing even better? How about having twice as much of it? For a limited time, Boost Mobile now offers you double the high-speed data while dropping the price. Yes, double the high-speed data while dropping the price. Let that sink in for a second. Okay, now just to make sure you heard me right, Boost Mobile is now offering double the high-speed data while dropping the price. I'm not kidding. Unlimited talk and text, and now with double the data starting at only $35 a month. That's lots of freaking data for not a lot of dough. Listen, you've got to get in on this double dose of data. Seriously, why pay more when you can pay less for twice as much? Hurry up. This offer will not last forever. Visit BoostMobile.com or your local Boost Mobile retailer for details. Offer ends 11/3/14. Boost has no annual contract. Double the data from Boost previous offers. Offers and coverage not available everywhere and subject to change. Offer network use rules and other restrictions apply. Visit BoostMobile.com for details.
Routines may be a little boring, but when it comes to your vehicle, wouldn't you rather avoid surprises? Routine maintenance will help you keep your car or truck running right. To extend the life of your vehicle, change the oil and filter every 3,000 miles. Flush and fill your antifreeze every 2 years. Change your shocks every 50,000 miles. And check your battery and fluid levels every month. Your nearby O'Reilly Auto Parts store has the name brands, low prices, and helpful people to provide just what you need.
If it's time to top off or flush and refill your cooling system, stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts for O'Reilly Universal or Dex Cool Premix Coolant on sale for $7.99 a gallon. Protect your engine from overheating with O'Reilly Universal or Dex Cool Premix Coolant, specially priced at $7.99 a gallon at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limit supply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. A lot of people shrug at the words all new. We get it. The phrase all new is sort of a throwaway in our industry. But in the case of the Chrysler 200, new is happening. With class-exclusive features like a 9-speed transmission with a fully electronic rotary shifter that boasts up to 36 mpg highway, it's clear we are making all new New again. The all-new Chrysler 200. Available now at the Chrysler Great American Drive event.
Well-qualified employer lessees get a low-mileage lease on the 2015 Chrysler 200 Limited Sedan for $237 a month for 39 months with $237 due at signing. Tax, title, and license extra. Based on Chrysler Group LLC standard midsize sedan segment. EPA estimated fuel economy with 2.4-liter engine and 9-speed automatic transmission. Call 1-888-CHRYSLER for details. Requires dealer contribution and lease through Chrysler Capital. 25-cent charge for each mile over 32,500. Residency restrictions apply. Take delivery by 9:30.
Getting engaged is a big step, and that's why Jared, the Galleria of Jewelry, offers you a lifetime commitment. You can choose from up to 10,000 loose diamonds to create her one-of-a-kind ring. Plus, Jared will match any price on like diamonds from any other jewelry store. Then we'll back it up with the Jared Perfect Bridal Plan. Free ring sizing, free diamond setting, and a lifetime diamond guarantee. It's all part of our commitment to you. And that's why he went to Jared. Find a Jared store or visit jared.com/price match.
The Tigers close out the regular season versus the Twins at home. And every game counts. It's Fan Appreciation Weekend. So 97.1 The Ticket will be all around Comerica Park with the street team and the ticket chicks. Stop by for your chance to win Michigan Lottery's Cash for Life $5 instant game. You could win up to $2,000 a week for life. Instant games. Put some play in your day. For tickets to any Tigers home game, call 866-66-TIGER or visit Tigers.com. Brought to you by the Michigan Lottery. All across the state, good things happen.
Touchdown, Detroit Lions!
Detroit Lions football. One more reason when you think of sports, you think of Detroit's #1 sports station.
97.1 The Ticket.
Welcome back to the show. Again, we broadcast till 10 o'clock. It's the Hardcore Mortgage Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. You can also send us an email to mortgage.show@lowrateonline.com. Again, live in the studio, 248-539-9797. We always take your calls. If you're out there and you haven't yet refinanced, you need to consolidate debt. The amount of savings here is just absolutely unbelievable. Just yesterday, I ran numbers for a gentleman. It was, he even couldn't believe it, how much money potentially could save. Again, folks, if you're out there listening, make the phone call to Capital Mortgage at 1-800-LOW-RATE. You're going to save a ton of money. Find out how much you can save just by consolidating maybe your even first and second mortgage.
You know, as much as we tried to educate people in the last 20 years, and the consumer is really educated now in the ways of the mortgage banking world, and with all the changes, you really need to be up on everything that's going on. I really don't believe, though, people pay that close attention to how much money they can save. I mean, people will drive all over town to save $10 or $15 on a washer and dryer, or 3 cents a gallon times how many gallons of gas fit in your car to go ahead and save $3.
Yeah.
But when it comes to your personal finances, and you can lower your rate or pay off with some equity, what we call toxic debt, you know, your credit card debt, I just don't understand why people won't take that step and save money.
You know, when things were bad, you know, in 2009 and 10, we had opened a leasing division because a lot of people were leasing places. We still are doing a lot of leasing. A lot of these people are leasing for different reasons. Some of them just don't realize that they could buy a house and take that $1,500 a month that they're spending on rent and put it towards a home, have the home ownership, the tax advantages of writing off interest. It just amazes me. If you know you're going to be here in a place over 3 years or 2 years even, you know, there's no reason you should be making landlords rich.
And the rate environment is conducive for people to do that. Whether you're going to refinance or purchase a new home, the rates aren't going lower. They're not going down to zero. It's not going to happen.
No, you know, we're privy to when these people are leasing, when their lease expires. So in 6 months into their lease, what we do is we send them properties and say, you could own this, right? And the same price you're paying today with a 3.5% down, and you have all these advantages. And if you just put the numbers down on paper, it's amazing how much money you're going to be saving.
Yeah, right off the bat. Again, there's zero down programs. If you're a veteran out there, you have the opportunity of VA eligibility. You've got rural development for all our listeners on the outskirts of Oakland, Macomb County, Washtenaw. You've got rural development loans. Absolutely zero down, very little PMI. There are income limitations on many programs. But again, you can get into a house with very little money. Seller's concessions are available.
The amount of mortgage programs for people to qualify on has never been higher. The number of programs that people have available to them has never been higher.
Which makes it even more important that you go to someone who knows all those programs, right? And that's where, people come in all the time, and we've got these fly-by-night mortgage companies. A lot of time I'll call. I don't trust the paper they're written on. I'll call and make sure that they've actually talked to the people and that we are working with someone that can buy a home. And, I know there's other programs out there that they're not being offered.
Dan, I want to talk about making offers on properties. And again, is there such a thing? I always tell people there's no more such a thing as an insult out there. Make an offer based on some knowledge. Again, your real estate agent, if they're qualified, as we spoke about, some of the top agents out there will set you up and give you great opinions and more the knowledge to make that offer. Is there really an insult, an offer that's an insult? I always encourage to make the offer.
I encourage to make the offer as well. But what you don't want to do is start negotiating with yourself. Meaning you come in, first of all, you have to find out the value of the property, right? Or the value you think the property is. And you say, okay, this is where we should start. If you come in too low, you know what you're going to get? You're either going to get a non-response or you're going to get them to say, I'll come down $1,000. That's not really negotiating. So then what ends up happening? You then come back with your tail between your legs and say, all right, I'll come up another $5,000. Or I'll come up another $5,000 until they start really negotiating. You should probably put an offer together that is, something that is good for you, that you're happy with, but still, most deals are win-win situations.
But Dan, if you're working with a professional real estate agent, number one is you got to pick the right realtor.
Correct.
Number two is when you and that realtor go in and make that offer. When I say you, the consumer says to the realtor, well, what do you think I should offer? It's based upon understanding the market. You have to understand what's going on in that market. So everybody says, just come in with a lowball offer. You've got to understand what's going on in that market. What price range for that house have these houses been selling in that market?
It comes down to the number one factor in selling a home and trying to figure out what to offer is the motivation of the seller.
I love it.
Okay? Right. Finding out why they're willing to sell. Why are they selling? Do they need to sell? And, what we tell people, for example, when we had all these multiple offers in the summer, coming late summer, those weren't happening as much. We had a property on the market, and someone came in, no other offers on the table. They came in $2,000 over asking, with no other offer on the table, right? So because they just assumed
they didn't want to lose
other offers. Well, but you didn't need to. They had to call me and say, hey, what's going on? No other offers. They came in $5,000 under. We would have negotiated. They end up paying $2,000 over. They got it right away, but they didn't need to do that.
Right, but also in a negotiation, you have to understand what the market is. But then also, don't you and your client get together and say, hey, listen, we're going to start out here, but what are you willing to pay? If negotiations go,
sure.
What's your max? What are you willing to pay for this?
Sure, and as a buyer's agent, we have the fiduciary responsibility to help them as best as we can without disclosing what their max price is. My job is, it's the only job in the world where you negotiate against yourself to make less money. If I do a good job for my client, I'm making less money than I would if, it really makes sense. But I like doing that. I enjoy trying to get a good deal. That's the one part of this job I really enjoy is the negotiation part.
Well, yeah. And then finally, when you get when you make that offer, there has to be really no strings attached, not a lot of contingencies. It has to be a clean offer.
Yeah, and it has to have everything put together. I can't stand when we get piecemeals. We get an offer here, then the agency contract here, then the disclosures here.
Right.
A good agent's going to have everything wrapped up in one. A simple phone call when I get an offer, we look who the pre-approval is written from, we call them, find out exactly what's going on, and then we decide from there what to do.
Yeah, standard contingencies isn't there usually there's an appraisal contingency and an inspection contingency. What else can pop up?
Well, in a condo, you have the inspection of the condo docs and bylaws. You have 15 days usually to approve of those. What we do is your inspection contingency can include a ton of things, right? For example, most inspectors do not do the drains. They don't put a camera down the drain.
Right.
That is a big ticket item if that were to fail.
Well, especially now. Look at all the flooding and everything we've had this past summer.
And all these older communities, Birmingham, Royal Oak, Ferndale, those are all those old clay pipes, right?
Well, you want to keep those great contingencies on there. The contingency of the home inspection, maybe some additional sewer inspections, maybe even a roof inspection. You can leave those type of things on there, but you got to do it within reason. And again, the knowledge that you share with your real estate agent will set you up for success on that. Overall, housing confidence has been great, Dan. Definitely higher among homeowners than renters. Historically high rents and favorable buying conditions. Also, younger renters are more upbeat about the future of home ownership, which is really encouraging. There's been a lot of talk about the millennials lately that they're not going to be able to purchase. Believe me, when they do the polls on them, they're trying to figure out ways that they're going to be able to become homeowners. They know the numbers. These are smarter kids. They're more educated. They know what to do. They understand the benefits of home ownership.
Well, I think what they're doing is they're sacrificing the size of a house for all the amenities. Smart homes, all the amenities that come in to play when you're purchasing a home, whereas the boomers, we were the McMansion age. We liked $4,000, $5,000, $6,000. There's 6,000 square foot homes, and now you don't need all that space. But what you want is more in the house than the actual size of the house.
The amenities and location. Location is always key, right? So we find in the urban areas are doing really well. The downtowns of Birmingham, Royal Oak, Ferndale. There's an urban renewal. People want to be able to walk into town, have a bite to eat, and then walk back home. And those, you have a smaller home, but, you have everything outside your front door. So you're not spending a lot of time in your home.
Right. A great list of items that are your want list, and make sure you really understand your want list. That's the key to it. Also, ways to boost your credit up. We've talked about this in the past. I mean, obviously, number one is to pay all your debt, all the existing debt on time. Also, we think the key is to run your credit report and clean it up. A lot of mistakes on there, judgments that have been paid a long time ago. And folks, I hear the music, so we're out of time
already.
That was another fast hour. We want to thank all the callers for calling in.
All you Sparties on 96, go green, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
Be sure to call Capital Mortgage all day long. We have people in the office to get you that approval letter. 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. I know we got Pat Caputo and sports coming up all day long. Keep it here on 97.1 The Ticket. For Dan Dubinsky at Skyward Realty, Harry Glantz, I'm Harvey Freed. We'll see you next Saturday.
The preceding was a paid program. Views expressed on this program are not necessarily those of CBS Radio, its sponsors, or affiliates.
97.1 The Ticket.
CBS Sunday, after a new 60 Minutes.
Madam Secretary.
We have a situation at the embassy in Yemen.
To protect the land of the free.
I'm responsible for the safety of our employees overseas.
You've got to be brave.
This is another Benghazi. It's a lot worse than that. It's an act of war.
Téa Leoni is Madam Secretary.
The president has put the ball in my court.
New drama. Then, the Good Wife's former rival is about to become her new partner.
Okay, what's going on?
Diane is leaving Lockhart Gardner and joining us.
A lot of changes around here.
Future's weird.
New Good Wife. And CSI premieres on its new night.
CSI Finley's life is in your hands.
And Sundays will never be the same again.
Show me your hands. The reporter said you traded your gun for a microscope. Show me your hands!
The CSI season premiere after the new hit drama Madam Secretary and a new Good Wife. CBS Sunday.
Sunday starting at 8 on CBS 62 Detroit.
We started our company with just an idea. We didn't have funding. We didn't have an office. We didn't even have a real phone. We had my cell phone. The first 3 years, we didn't take a salary. We just worked. We worked our tails off. We put our lives into this company. And I'm proud to say our passion, our commitment have gotten us to where we are today. And we've reached the point where we need more than just a loan to help us keep growing. We need a bank that knows how to get us to the next level. And at this stage, I expect my banker to help increase the value of our business, not just his commission.
When it's time, come to Comerica and discover why we're the leading bank for business. To learn more, schedule an appointment with a Comerica Business Banking Advisor and raise your expectations of what a bank can be. Comerica Bank, member FDIC, equal opportunity lender based on commercial and industrial loans as a percentage of total assets. Data provided by Thomson Reuters.